What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV and welcome to the detailed speed test between the LG G5 and the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. So in this video we'll be doing lots of real world speed tests, everything from the fingerprint scanners to the camera launch, and then moving on to some standard apps as well as some gaming apps, and finishing off with some RAM management tests. Now the first thing to bear in mind straight away is that the version of the S7 Edge I have here is the Exynos version, not the Snapdragon version. However, this is the faster of the two from what I've seen. So initially, just getting the benchmarks out the way, you can see here that for the single core performance, the LG G5 does score higher, but for the multi-core performance, the S7 Edge does come out on top. And this does come down to the fact that you've got an octa-core processor on the S7 Edge, whereas you've got the quad-core on the G5. Now in terms of the fingerprint scanners, I have done a detailed fingerprint scanner speed test in a previous video, so definitely do go ahead and check that out. I'll link that in the cards. Now moving on to the camera launch test, both of these have a shortcut to launch the camera. On the S7 Edge you have to tap the home button twice, and on the LG G5 it's the volume down button twice. Now I've filmed these at separate times and then synced them together to make this test as fair as possible, and from this test you can see that the S7 Edge does launch the camera faster. You can see this in slow motion just to be sure. Now let's move on to some app tests. So you can see that nothing else is open at the moment. We're going to go into Google Chrome and we're going to load up the BBC News website to see which device loads it up faster, and selecting both at the same time. Did finish first on the S7 Edge. Now we'll go and accept cookies and go on to the first article here. And once again did finish first on the S7 Edge. So we'll leave this open in the background and let's move on to Instagram. Neck and neck, but I'd say ever so slightly quicker on the G5. Going into my profile, quicker on the S7 Edge. Opening an Edge, ever so slightly quicker on the S7 Edge. Now moving on to YouTube, we're not actually going to be testing out the homepage because it's loading up different content. We're going to go on to the top trending video, and very close, but it was first on the LG G5. And remember, you can always slow down this video using YouTube's slowdown feature if you want to check these results up yourself. Next up, we're going to be moving on to Temple Run 2. It does finish first on the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. We'll play the game and leave it on in the background. Let's move on to another game, so Dead Trigger 2. Once again faster on the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. So for gaming it does look like the S7 Edge is faster. We'll play the game and speed this up. Did finish first once again on the S7 Edge. And just to test this out a little bit further, we'll try one more 3D game, which is Unkilled. Finished first on the S7 Edge, and I think the Exynos processor is definitely helping opening up those games faster. And finally, let's just test out the multitasking, so we'll see if the apps are all fully open as where we left them. So first up, we'll go onto the Chrome browser, and next we will switch over onto Instagram, open on both at the same place where we left it. And now moving on to YouTube, we do have to play both videos, but they do start playing in the position that we left them. Moving on now to Temple Run 2. In the same place, we can continue playing the game and resume the game. So it is working fine on both. Now we'll move over on to Dead Trigger 2. Still open here as well. And finally, let's just try out Unkilled. So let's just go over and back to the game here, same place where we left it as well. So multitasking seems to be fine. We've got 3 games open here as well as a few apps. Just a quick test to see if these are reloaded, and they seem to be working fine. So there we have it, the detailed speed test between the LG G5 and the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. Overall, I think the Edge would have to go to the S7 Edge with more apps opening up quicker. That may come down to the fact that this is the Exynos version and that octa-core processor is helping opening those apps quicker, but I would say it gets the overall win. What did you think of the results? Drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe. I've got plenty more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.